And we are live.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be here. Welcome to the dojo this evening. I am here with Nutella. Jones is here as well.
Hello.
Oh, there we go.
There we
Jones
go.
is here as well. We're going to have Normie come with us, join us in a bit. And I am going to be distracted constantly because that's how I am. I should probably put on streamer mode so I don't get pings randomly. That would make sense, wouldn't it? But yeah, we're going to be covering the patch which has just come out, the title update 2 patch, and talking about the multiple bounce changes that have happened. In fact, this seems to be becoming a bit of a trend, which I'm very happy about.
Verona
But
crashed.
there are... Oh, we crashed. Okay,
Verona
well,
crashed.
Verona crashed. Oh, well. I'm carrying on waxing lyrical about the trend, which seems to be that we are seeing a lot of small balance changes coming in patches, which is really nice to see. Something people have been asking for years, actually, and now it seems to be finally happening. So that's pretty good. I'm at least personally very pleased to be seeing patches come out more frequently with substantial balance changes in them. So yeah, we just had a bit of connection issues. The other big thing that's come out of this patch is finally crossplay phase 2 has arrived, so we can now match up with our console friends from PC, and the console players can match up with the PC players and each other's, PS4, PlayStation, and Xbox can all be together in one big old happy family of being very salty and yelling at each other. So yeah, that's pretty exciting too. And we're going to talk a bit about the implications of that in shortly as well. When we get into later on in the session, we can talk a bit about the future of crossplay stuff. I do plan on doing a dojo some point soon, covering like some tournament feedback and things people want from tournaments and from crossplay tournaments and that kind of thing. Questions that are all now we can actually do something about. Now that we have crossplay available to us, so that will be coming at some point in the future in a nondescript moment. All right, you've got invite. Sorry,
Yep.
you be disconnected again, being how it is. All right, so the first thing we're going to cover today is we're going to cover arguably the two biggest winners of this patch, with one of them being probably more of a winner than the other. We're going to be covering Jianhu and Kensei, or I don't know, some people like to think of Jianhu as the Wulin version of Kensei, because they're somewhat similar, and they both got a big two-handed sword. So, yes, these characters have both received pretty significant changes, and as well as Kensei getting the new skin out as well, the Mako skin, where you can be like a scary samurai with flowing hair. So, yeah, big sword, same character. Is true. It's a funny sword game after all. So we'll start off with covering Kensei things, and yes, this is a kind of in combination. Kensei also received some changes in the last patch. So in the last patch, they sped up the chain link from the light finisher, sorry, the chain light into the top heavy finisher, and they also sped up the top heavy finisher itself. So it's now 1100 ms instead of the 1200 ms it used to be, which has actually had some implications which we never really covered, which is that now his parry punishes and his out of lot punishes are actually safe. It's been reported anyway. So if you do your, it's the
One.
helm splitter into
Pro or
unblockable.
parry? A helm split? Oops. Okay. Oh, I
So
kind
that
of got it right.
okay. So I think somebody has reported that is safe now.
Yep, safe.
There we go.
Throw.
So that was always an unsafe punish. So now you can get more damage off that, and it's the same for the throw punish as well.
Oh, and I parried this time.
That's all right. You can grab.
No.
Oh no.
It's not.
So yeah, simple to remember. Those punishes are now safe. So that was actually, I guess, a change from last time, which is now available. The other change that can say, so the change that's from this patch, well, for starters, the big change is to his opener. The top heavy opener has gone up in speed, well, down in speed, I guess. Up in speed and down in duration from 1000 ms, used to be one very slow heavy, to 800 ms. And it's gone down in damage as well to 24 damage. But the big implication of this is the mix-up now, which is between pommel strike and like forward dodge into if you sort of mix up in the pommel strike and or pommel strike into like the feint to guard break. You can feint to guard break, or you can forward dodge into guard break, and that also catches it and it's less stamina. So that mix-up is a lot less vulnerable to being interrupted. So it used to be very easy, or comparatively easy, to see an indicator and just press light. And most of the time, the Kensei is going to eat crap, and now it's a little bit harder to interrupt that. So especially a slow ass like me won't be able to interrupt on reaction, seeing your top indicator. Probably not. Give it a shot if you want to, Nutella. If I do it on a read, but yeah.
I mean, it's basically Saramusha mix-up, but on top card.
Yeah, it's Aramusha's mix-up, except rather than being vulnerable to dodge GB, because you can chain on miss, it is vulnerable to dodge tax instead, so... But, you know, same difference. So this is now a much more viable opener mix-up. It used to be... Kensei's biggest weakness in the past was he just didn't have any real pressure that was particularly safe. And now he does, which is a pretty major buff for him. The other top heavy, chain top heavy, is also faster now. It does 29 damage, and it's 900 rather than 1000. And also the side heavy finishes have also been sped up to 800, and they now do 30 damage rather than 32 damage. So I'm not sure exactly how that changes the top heavy mix up. I'm not sure if when you
catch some dodgers because they're faster now.
Yeah, I think you might catch a few, but I think it also means it's more vulnerable to dodge attacks as well. It's a bit of a dodge for that one. We try doing the we'll just pommel strike into light and then do your heavy soft feint aside. I guess I GB'd there for some reason as well. And it's the side I'm blocking.
Also, welcome on Normie.
I thought you'd switch.
Oh.
I'm not sure I even tried to block that, to be honest. But instead, it's okay.
You can.
Well, it's gonna catch dodges a little bit easier.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, so...
this is still an unblockable at the end of the day. Oh, that's not enhanced. This is still non-blockable, but it is very interruptible now because of the chain.
Yeah. So that
being,
is the...
Yeah, not being high reactions.
Yeah, so if we've had the buffs to the character, there has been, like, well, not arguably, it's definitely a nerf, is that the hit reactions of the all the chain attacks, not the top heavy opener, which is still high hit stun or heavy hit stun, but the hit reaction has gone down to medium hit stun. It used to be heavy on all the dodge attacks and also the helmet splitter and the chain attacks. But now it is medium, which means that if you go into the on hit, and if you opponent buffers a light, you will now trade. On block, you beat them with a light attack. So this is undeniably a nerf to the character. But there's been a lot of backlash, and you know, we'll see if this is kept with how things have been going with like fast changes. I wouldn't be surprised if this was altered again in an upcoming patch. So I wouldn't be surprised if that is a change that comes.
Yep.
You gonna Normie? Are you in the voice chat as well, or are you gonna?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, there we go. That says everything you need. I mean, you can still, of course, beat these trades with like the feint to light. You're still gonna trade with that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or just feint parry, but a bit rough.
Yeah. After the pommel strike into light, that's also going to be interruptible. But then it was interruptible beforehand. And the difference is now with the improved chain link and the faster unblockable, you can actually, I think you can dodge soft feint out of it, but you can also feint and parry it, which before you couldn't do.
I do want to point out one more thing. If you do land your unblockable and you go for another mix up with your pommel, it actually won't land. It's too short range. So
Yeah, that is a bit of an issue with.
Just keep that in mind.
Yeah,
you don't
another
have
issue with
offense unless they're holding W on you.
I mean, it's the same with actually the same with Zhan, whose finisher heavies and his side dodge attack. So side dodge misses afterwards. I think it's just because they have heavy hit stun as finishers and they push you back a long way, or high hit stun even. Either way, we like to use. We're trying to use the trying to switch to using high hit stun rather than heavy hit stun because
don't worry, the devs say heavy in patch notes. It'll just get
Yeah.
less confusing.
Yeah, okay. It's just because like you have some attacks which are light attacks that have heavy hit stun, and some heavies that have light hit stun, and so we'd kind of prefer it if it was high, medium, and low. It's still the same letters, but you know, that's how it is. The testing grounds are not already live. No, the testing grounds is
the
coming.
title wrong per chance.
Oh, that is certainly a possibility. Let me double check that. It almost certainly is because I don't recall. Yes, I don't recall changing it. I will go and do that now very quickly.
Any ones?
Anyone wants? Normie, you want to launch up so you can also show the revenge stuff as well?
Yes, I'm pressing any key and defining rules for better planning strategy also.
Oh, I
Tell
forgot
me
how
when
to
you
go.
start moving to the battle.
How do I change the damn thing again? I'm so stupid at this.
I'm eating pasta though, so I don't know.
No, this is I'm not logged into the right channel, am I?
You have one scavenging crate, you have to use it.
Okay. Let me
okay.
try get that pirate helmet for the 19th time.
Do you think you can somebody
Nope.
who's not like an idiot at Twitch can change this?
Can I bot adult title? Does that work? No. Or am I using the wrong prefix?
I mean, I can
command title might work.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's for Nightbot or what, but
I
I
don't
always use
actually
command
know
title.
which bot we're on.
Yeah.
Log prefix is.
We are on Stream Elements, which is nothing.
Yeah, it's the nothingness. All right.
Yeah,
let
I
me
know
just
nothing about Stream Elements.
let me quickly log in on the side.
Yeah,
and
sorry
fix
about
this.
that.
Me troll facing at 111.
Yeah, thank you for pointing out. Sorry, this is actually we are not
Professionals
today. We're talking about the patch, which I guess I'll throw a link to the patch notes in the.
I'm professional. I don't know what you're talking about.
Change
I'm
to
eating.
freeze. Cool, thanks.
Well, thank you, Freeze. Thank you very much. Oh, we didn't talk about Zhan Hu yet. Or was Normie here? We're gonna do the three-person things. Don't mind us being a little bit scatterbrained. That is how it is. I mean, like Normie, what is your opinion on the Kensei change? Like overall, do you think the character's buffed or nerfed? So there have been some people saying that the character is it's a nerf. I personally think, whilst there's it being a bit more interruptible is not a good thing. I don't think it's a nerf.
Well, his biggest buff, is like probably the fact that his side heavies. Wait, were his side heavies 27 before?
What finishes?
No, neutral.
Yeah, they've always been 27. Yeah.
They went up in damage, didn't they?
Did they?
No, I thought they were 24. I went up to 27.
Oh.
No, they were 27. They've always been 27. They're his light parry.
Okay, in 4v4, his biggest buff is zone stamina cost reduction. Once they fixes UB, then it's gonna be boss. But we tried them today in scrims. It just didn't work because when you don't have feats, you're kind of just useless.
Fair enough.
Everyone's jumps are too slow. The only thing you have going for you is team fight.
That fam?
So he's better, but not by much until they fix the UB.
Okay. Well, hopefully they fix the interruptibility. A lot of people have been complaining about it. I certainly still wouldn't call it a big nerf like some people have been calling it, but
that's not nice.
It's not a nice. That's certainly not a nice change. We'll go. So let's. which character? Okay, I'm going to go Yorm, because Yorm has also received some little tweaks. And
I go
it's
JJ, Show Choke, and other changes.
yeah, and I guess somebody's got to go Shinobi.
Yep, he's already.
Nope. Refuse. Don't wanna play that.
I refuse to touch that character.
Refuse to touch Shinobi. Okay, we'll get back to Janhu in a little bit, but yeah, these 3 characters have also been have received some changes, and I guess the ones on the attackers' side have received nerfs, very much needed nerfs. Although JD's also had a little buff as well, so
She didn't get nerfed at all.
Nerfs have been kind of pointless on JJ's end. They didn't hit him,
Absolutely
but they're at
pointless.
least something. to
I
look
think
at.
they're better for. They made the character less stupid at low levels
Yeah.
because now he follows some rules that usually the lower skill players just break through, like the damage reduction on the choke and whatever, and also the zone now being slower. It helps low level players deal with it. However, at high level,
I mean
they're doing
the damage nerf is still a thing, you know.
it
not nothing.
literally is not anything
It's
ever.
damage. On the
Yeah,
character.
and you're playing on a character with 2 inspires, so
Yeah.
you're always damaged them. Anyways,
It's true, but he's got a little bit more. Right, we'll start off with JJ, as you mentioned. He's had a damage nerf to his finisher heavies. They now do 28 and 30 on the top.
Yeah, that's.
I can always just, as long as it don't kill me, I'll just bash myself back to health.
yeah, because that's not gonna take 4 hours. Just go and heal, man.
Yeah, and the other thing that has changed is that now the choke does no longer apply damage reductions. So, as you can see, that did full damage. Previously, that would have done
3.
Yeah, it was be like 75% reduced. So it's weird. It's a weird pin that did damage reduction, but now it's not doing damage reduction. So I guess it's useful, more useful for confirming stuff. But realistically, if you land a parry in a gank, the punish you want to do is to get your ally to act as a wall splat them with the choke, and then confirm the finisher. So it doesn't actually really change the move in for how good it is at ganking. We can demonstrate that quickly if Normie's positioned correctly.
Oh, fucking. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. We can do it again.
Yeah, no. I pressed line instead of heavy there.
But there we go. That's the
And then
gank.
continue to be funky with Shinobi.
And then yeah, you can do other things with whoever you left, or you can confirm that with a guard break for like a different amount of range and damage. The key there is unlocking to act as a wall. So it basically doesn't make a huge amount of. It's not a huge buff to him, and it's also his Sifu zone has. I mean, you're not gonna be able to see the difference, but it's 33 milliseconds slower now, and also on a parry, it's now 600 ms rather than 500 ms. So I guess you might be able to see that. But the reason this was given, Dev said, is so that it's a little bit easier to dodge on reaction if somebody else gets parried, which is true, I guess. But not hugely impactful. The character's still going to be good. It just might not be... Maybe there'll be some... like, for example, Janhu might be a viable alternative. I don't know. It's not quite as mandatory, I'd say.
The Sifu zone nerf does also mean it is very unsafe against BP Bash, and it's kind of parable on reaction to anyone now. 'Cause some
Yeah,
people
if
miss that
you...
parry. Now it's
Yeah, if
pretty...
you use it as, like, against low recovery bashes, it's worse to punish. I don't think Yorm's is particularly low recovery, but...
No, I don't think Yorm's will be. Yeah.
Yeah, Yorm, that's still
Tough.
gonna do. But against, like, Blackprior, if you use Sifu on reaction to the bash, or, like, really late, it's gonna be more reactable to be punishable, so... well, I guess the next thing we'll touch is the other nerf on this is Shinobi, who has had it seems like a band-aid nerf because the character can still do these looping ganks, but the revenge gain on Sickle Rain has been fairly dramatically increased. I think it's now doing from 55. The same. It's 55 from 28, and the lights each do 10 revenge instead of 3. So I guess you can do the gank where you just like
We can do
break-
I
your.
just
We
want
can
to show
do.
the sickle on its own, to be honest. Just
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't just
honest.
go break.
oh, no,
Okay,
oh, sorry.
I know I did this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of revenge, but that means that the infinite looping ganks, which I mean, he can still do, you're just going to give revenge doing them before the opponent
Technically,
dies.
the ones with kick and storm rush is still there.
Yeah, I mean any ganks that don't involve the
Sickle rain.
sickle rain
aspect
are the same.
Yeah.
It is really a sort of band-aid patch because the loops are there, and it also nerfs his team fighting as well, which he doesn't really need nerfing because if somebody is about to gain revenge and you throw a they still do, if you guard break me, they still do revenge on block as well. So
Oh well.
Yeah, that's a nice
yeah, you
blockable
just
attack.
yeah,
Yeah, we got break again.
throw like you're undodgeable.
There you go. Backlight. Yeah. Ooh.
So if you're in a situation in a team fight, which does happen, where somebody suddenly has slightly more tags and gains revenge, that is a regular attack, which isn't particularly good in team fights anyway, because you have the long recovery on it from it starts the pin, and it also feeds more revenge. So hopefully they will do some kind of
Fix some
more
pins,
involved.
really.
Pardon?
Fix the pins, resetting hit stun.
Yeah, they really need to just fix the way that you can loop the pins. So hopefully that is on the horizon. But I think they said in the patch notes as well, this is a somewhat band-aid solution to the issue of these powerful revenge. Like 100 to 0 ganks. But you did have them with everybody as well. You could just do sickle rain, and then the ally could. I don't know if you guys can. Do you think, Nutella, you think you managed to do that gank where you throw the heavy and then confirm the other sickle rain off your first heavy?
Which one?
What's the point? There's no point in watching seeing this.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You could gank. You could do infinite gank with anybody because you can confirm one sickle rain off the hit stun of the.
Yeah, if you
the
land the heavy late enough, you can confirm it. Yeah.
Yeah. So especially with heavy hit stun attacks, like I don't think Jay's, but like his finishes are, for example. Anyway, we'll talk a little bit more about the consequences potentially of Shinobi. This nerf. If people have been, especially Jones is here as well. He was using. There was some discussion about banning the character in community tournaments. I'm not sure if that people still consider that necessary, or what do you think? Would you like to see the character banned still?
Exists.
Well,
I mean, shooting stars can be
currently-
banned, I guess.
Since I'm sort of directly responsible for this shit, he is still banned, and we will still run soon. We have like next weekend we have a bunch of tournaments and a few tournaments that are still within banned, and we want to keep it like that for feedback on how the game plays without Shinobi altogether. But even if he was to get unbanned, one, I don't think he would be played because you're really limited to the double bash gank, and two, his shooting stars would stay banned.
Yep.
Yeah. So shooting stars is as we know,
And he has
shot
no
thing in that.
alternate tier 2s.
Yeah. Well, I guess he has. Executioner's respite. Anyway, the reason I picked Yorm is Yorm has also received some minor buffs this time as well. So his zone now he does 20 stamina rather than the 60 it was beforehand, and he also now has better hitboxes on all his opener heavies, I think.
Very
all his heavies actually. So I mean, they're still not going to be world beating or anything, but.
Well, the thing is, he has all of his forward movement at the end of the attack, so sometimes it's just not gonna hit anything.
Yeah, he's very much still a one target attack, but you can hit people next to you if you're lucky, I guess. Before it was kind of impossible. There we go. There we go. I hit Normie that time.
It's more of a backward swing.
Yeah, he's also got some weird bugs going on with the
Right
with his
dodge,
animation. So if Nutella blocks top, if I walk forward and do this, do a kind of weird hop, and I think is if you do this into top. My bad. Oh, sorry. I'll have to wait for Nutella to. Yeah, because he's streaming. If you dodge light and then top unblockable, there's a weird animation. But these are likely bugs that are gonna. There's gonna be some new animations in his rework, presumably, and these have probably snuck through. So I expect we'll see them either removed or just it's not really important. All side heavies, okay. So yeah, the opener heavies as well. I mean, they still, like Normie says, the lot of forward movement at the end of the attack means you often like miss the people next to you anyway. But I mean, it's better than nothing. They were very, very bad, so you used to sort of phase through people, and now you don't phase them quite as much. And the zone, I think, is also, I'm not sure the zone's improved, but it's alright. Let's move on to the next character. I mean, Yorm's still terrible, but he's not as terrible. But you know, they've mentioned again that there's a rework coming. We'll be testing grounds for Yorm rework next season, so we will see how that affects the character. Well, I'm excited personally to see how he changes. All right, so let's go to Zhanhu, and if we, oh yeah, okay, we can do. Somebody go pirate. I'll go Zhanhu again because I was Zhanhu before. Yeah, opponents go both on the same team. One of you go pirate, and the other one can go Black Prior. Oh, Black Prior. Yeah, a Black Prior. So we have a few changes to specific things, and then we also have a whole bunch of kind of wide like changes on a lot of characters. But we'll get to that. So I guess a general change has been applied to a bunch of characters, or at least a general trend. So the big difference for Zhanhu is, again, one of his biggest weaknesses was that the heavy finishers, which are very strong, his like main offense, were very interruptible. But now that is not the case. They have sped up the chain links on, I think, all the light from the lights and the zones into heavies, and now you cannot be interrupted on your heavy finishers, which is pretty amazing change in terms of, well, just Nutella goes. I've got winner's advantage on, so he can be doing 39 damage each time, but Nutella just cannot interrupt me from that. In fact, the only time you can't interrupt, you can trade, is if you block a heavy and then go into it. That will trade, but obviously pretty dramatically in favor of the Zhanhu, especially with winner's advantage. So, as well as that, which is pretty major, because his dodge attacks have the same properties, and until it gets back, I'll demonstrate. Oh yeah, defenders to toy. So it's the same for his dodge attacks, and on block as well, I think. Fire. Oh really? Okay, they trade. There we go. So I must have delayed my input then. Yeah. So pretty good for the character. The same with the zone. I'll do the zone on Normie. So this is going to really help him in one's pressure, and presumably in team fights as well as a consequence of that. The other thing has been changed is now those heavies have soft feints to fast guard break. It's not mentioned in the patch notes their fast guard break, but if I do I'll do this. Now the guard breaks are, now it's a soft feint, so he's not better stamina economy as well. Weird.
This does mean it's susceptible to the last frame parry.
It does, but it also means that you can't roll away from these anymore. So if Nutella tries to, I'll do a hard feint to guard break first. Huh. Oh, what do you know? He must have rolled into a wall then.
Oh, then you roll it to me. I can.
Yeah, I'll just do a light in that case. Yeah. As you can see, you can roll away, but if you soft feint to guard break, that's gonna catch now. The disadvantage of this, which there is one, is that because it's the fast guard break, it's a 300 millisecond guard break, you can actually now last frame parry them and beat regular. And the soft end guard break will bounce off before your parry attempt happens. The reason for this, we think, is due to the offensive action delay of 33 milliseconds in between. I was going to demonstrate. If you come back, Nutella, I can demonstrate it on Normie. Normie's presumably being slightly more practiced at the last frame parry stuff. So now if I soft feint to guard break, if I throw some heavies for you, and so you can. Oh yeah, I'll deal with that.
Though.
So
Okay, I mean this is a bit stupid because I'm just reacting to flash on like accident, but whatever.
Well, I mean it's the same timing as if you were reacting to flash, because. But essentially, you don't have to react. You can just parry in the last frame. I say just parry in the last frame. It's pretty tricky to do consistently, but that will beat the soft feint to guard break, but it won't beat the hard feint to guard break because that comes out slightly later. So your attack has started. Yeah, reacting to flash on accident. That's how. Yeah, that's how much a Giga Chad that Normie is. Blackprior, whilst we're on Normie, Blackprior's received some changes too. His neutral zone is 600 ms rather than 700 ms, which is honestly a little bit weird. It means that it's on the same timing as the regular bash. I'm gonna have difficulty dodging it on reaction.
I mean, don't just let yourself get hit. People will see the consistency of the stagger. Also move because you're getting unleashed.
Yeah. Stamina consumption too. It's just really bad.
It's just a weird. Honestly, this is a weird choice. It did have some uses for being dodgeable on a slightly different timing than the 4-dodge bashes, which meant it was useful to catch out scripters, but and potentially also people dodging on orange, although that's never been particularly effective either. So I mean, honestly, the move is slightly weird. Neutral bashes that are in they're in an odd place because they're just not. Neutral bashes that are 600 ms are reactable to like most fast players, and probably for most players at all when they practice. But
what the?
You can bounce against the corner. But yeah.
I see.
And the other change that Blackprior has received is that your feet icon disappeared. Is that now you can't. The backwards movement on his lights has been reduced apparently, although it still seems like if you backlight trying a crushing counter my oh okay, I'm parrying that.
No, it works, but whatever.
It depends on the character you're playing, how slow your attacks are. On JJ it does not work, for example, because your feint is too slow and makes too much distance. But in general, it's still a decently good backlight. It's not been as nerfed as people thought it would be.
It's not. It's still usable in the same way, and in team fights, you can still use it to like threaten people sideways and move backwards. So, that is it's a something that should have been nerfed, and it's good that it is receiving attention, but it's not as dramatic a nerf as people might have wanted. But I mean, I think that's probably a good thing. Actually, we'll see if again, if they're doing these like incremental, like regular little changes, then they can see if this nerf is enough to make it not problematic, and if it is still problematic, then they can nerf it again. Why not? Talking of nerfs, we'll head on to Pirate, who the much maligned character has received 2 nerfs, which are, I mean, they're considerable. The first one is the 4-dodge heavy no longer has a soft feint to guard break. You are just going to be doing a hard feint now. I mean, it still catches most people, and because it's no longer the fast guard break, it doesn't have that last frame parry issue anymore. It's going to catch parries more consistently, if anything. But it's a little bit. It's a little bit worse at catching dodge attacks, and it's going to be maybe a little bit less impressive at low levels. It doesn't really change much for the top level play. I mean, do you think Normie, it changes much for the top level play?
No, it doesn't do anything. I mean, it does actually, but depends on what scenario. In some places, like for example in her 1v1s, it does actually change a lot because the reason her dodge forward UB is good for pressuring isn't because it's a hard feint or a soft feint. It's because you can throw it out so much that it gets people like they lose focus because you having to focus on reacting to a UB like 20 times in a row. So technically it did have a pretty big impact, but it's the other one that didn't have any impact on comp, the other nerf.
Yeah. So the other nerf which received is that basically the chain link from the pistol has been shortened. So lengthened. So now it is easier to dodge attack and interrupt even the walk the plank after landing a pistol shot. So I think is it off the regular pistol shot or also or just the guaranteed one? So throw a block heavy into pistol shot and then walk the plank. Oh, and then just let it go.
Just so yeah.
I'm gonna try and interrupt it basically.
It only says the guaranteed one in the patch
I'm
notes.
pretty sure it's just
Yeah.
the guaranteed one, yeah.
Okay, so just the guaranteed one. So now we'll go back, and when I get there, you'll see that I can now interrupt the guaranteed. I can interrupt walk the plank with a light after the guaranteed pistol, but not after the non-guaranteed pistol, and not after just letting the heavy go will also hit me.
I want to know if that one gets
I don't know what you're doing.
the pistol shot here. Try and interrupt the
Oh yeah, so
walk.
this one remains the same actually. So the pistol shot from walk the plank it hasn't changed. Only the pistol shot after regular heavies and the dodge heavy that has changed. But that's probably a good thing because on those times you didn't. For everything else, you have a choice whether or not you want to use the pistol shot or just go straight into your chains. And this is going to help low-level players a little bit more. And also, I mean, it's probably, I'd say it's a good change because it means you have this kind of choice between high damage, less effective mix-up and lower damage but more effective mix-up. So if you go just in the regular, that's not, can't interrupt that. So whereas you can off the guaranteed pistol shot. So it's 5 damage less for less safety, which is a good thing. Also means the soft feint guard break catches dodge attacks a little bit worse off the guaranteed pistol shot. I guess the only issue where I feel that it doesn't allow the choice is on the dodge attacks. They have light hit stun as well. So I think it's always interruptible from the dodge attacks if you don't go into the gunshot. Oh no, okay. I tell a lie. They have different chain links from that, I guess, in that case.
Yeah.
So yeah.
This
Very-
nerf
I think
isn't
that's very nice.
too severe as well, considering most players opt to not use the gunshot because it is further revenge. So it's only
Fine.
really used for actual ganks. in
Yeah, I
public
mean, I
play.
think you'll find that especially low-level players use the gunshot a lot. They just like muscle memory it, and so this is going to make it a little bit easier to dodge attack out of the mix-up, and so on. If your opponent goes heavy soft feint, basically it makes the mix-up just lower damage. I mean, I think it's probably a good change. Right, that's Pirates changes done.
That's
So
all
which
for these
pistol?
characters, yeah.
Sorry, just the guaranteed ones after landed heavies and dodge attacks, not the guaranteed one after the walk the plank as well. Walk the plank hasn't changed when it hits, but if you soft feint to guard break and catch somebody with the guard break punish, what you do afterwards has changed. So this is good because for regular walk the plank, you don't have the option of using a heavy and not using the and being able to chain. You can't chain otherwise unless you use the gunshot. So, all right, which characters have we got next to look at?
Just gladiator dodge attacks and
Yeah.
Nusha zone attack, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Nusha's own attack has now got 100. Well, I'll go Nusha in that case because I like the character and she has 2 of the changes that have impacted.
Oh, and Zucker running attack pipe armor.
Yeah, Zerka's running attack has high promo now, but that hasn't
kind of irrelevant. The bigger thing, kind of, is also parry punishes can now be delayed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'll
Who's got a
grab.
character with?
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
playing Zerk.
Okay.
Okay,
I'll
Berserk's parry
go.
punishes haven't changed, I don't think. If you'll go Gladiator, aren't you, Nutella? Gladiators. Oh, that one already changed. Okay, but basically the parry counters now, instead of any of these like really fast inputs that were required, they're all delayable up until the end of the parry animation, which is, I personally think, is a really good change because there's no reason for them to be really annoying to input. Doesn't really change anything. But it used to be you would have to input them within the first 300 milliseconds for some of them, like Warlords 1 and Gladiators 1 actually got changed last patch. But yeah, this is really nice. So that's a big thing. And yes, the other change which Gladiator has received, which is again a big nerf to his a big buff to his 1v1 potential, is that toe stab in chains. It's now 500 milliseconds. So you have a lot better 1v1 pressure. Normie will have to tell me how reactable it is as 500 splashes go, but I'm pretty sure it works now as a.
It's gonna be the same as Griffin.
Yeah, I mean the good thing about it is, so Nutella can demonstrate on me. We'll test it quickly. You like do a top light and then side heavy. Yeah, those have crazy good tracking as well, and they're not undodgeable, but they're near enough. So unlike, for example, well, sorry, we're not gonna repeat everything for you, but yeah, unlike Medjay's axe mode, where you can dodge the toe stab and the heavies on the bash and the heavies on the same timing, toe stab and the heavies don't have that, and they do 30 damage too. So it's pretty good pressure, and yeah, it's still 6 from neutral, so that'll be the same for everybody. But yeah, it's definitely better chain pressure. The other thing that has changed for a lot of characters, you can show Berserker's running attack being hyper armored now if you want to. I mean, not what I can. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that actually worked. Well, there we go. That one didn't. It's got 400 MS hyper armor now, so again, not a massive buff, but it's nice to have, and the character's not at the top of the meta, so why not buff them? And I'm personally a big fan of the approach of taking little buffs to characters that are going to get there. The other thing that's changed on a lot of characters, so this is on Medjay Axe mode, Nusha, Shaman, Shaolin, and Janhu have all got proper iframes now. So for normally for quite a significant amount of time, if Nutella was to do his light into side heavy on me again. Oh crap! I'll do that again. All right. Apparently, they're not that good. I'll dodge a little bit later.
Unlucky.
Fuckers, yeah. Maybe they are undodgeable. Yeah, we mentioned Yorm's new animations. I mean, they're clearly bugs that are not meant to be in the game yet, but we will see if they're. Anyway, I did a terrible job of demonstrating there, but it should be possible for Nusha to. What is going? Okay.
Maybe they didn't add it to Nusha. It should be great, honestly. Don't dodge it to the wall. Yeah, I don't think they added to Nusha.
Okay, all right. Well, this is weird because they definitely worked on Raiders.
You can also show it by if you body block someone into a corner and throw a heavy at them, they can actually dodge.
All right, well, let's try that with a test if Nusha's actually changed or not.
Where's a nice corner here?
I was gonna go with these barrels.
Yeah, top heavy.
Actually, that's not quite cornery enough. Let's go to the corner inside. No, Raider's not been buffed at all. Oh, actually, this corner over here is better, isn't it?
Yeah. Body block him, moving.
Okay, heavies are fast, and I don't think Spaniard can react.
I'm just gonna heavy feint heavy, so you have ample time to.
Alright.
Oh, and I've feint the next one. There you go.
I don't.
I honestly think they aren't iframed anymore.
Yeah, I'm not sure Nutras have been. Okay. Well, I'll have to double check this. Yeah, yeah. If you dodge
Yeah.
into a wall, they should be able to. I mean, I don't know.
They did buff
Nutras should have more iframes,
some.
but
Shaolin's does have iframes, I'm pretty
yeah,
sure about
Challenge
that one.
definitely does. Medjay's axe mode definitely does. I've not checked Janhu's myself, but they should have.
Antonio has. He said they feel good.
All right, there we go. So yeah, Nusha. The other change is Nusha's zone attack now has 100% guard break vulnerability. Oh yeah, I didn't.
It's Zone OS as if you were playing Old Runner.
There we go. If it could zone OS,
Yeah.
there you go. Actually, talking of guard breaks, that is another kind of massive change that has slipped in. The testing grounds we had at the beginning of the season, which changed the counter guard break, changed how counter guard breaks work, has now come into the game, which is very, very fast for changes, which is why I guess it surprised me. But now the change from last time, which is if you counter guard break, you now have 33 frames, 3 milliseconds of frame advantage, and somebody spamming guard break at you will eat a heavy rather than being able to catch it in its startup. And you can no longer roll away after a counter guard break. Guard breaks will catch now. So those changes, which were universally praised, are now in the game, and that's cool. And I'm really surprised that Nusha's dodge attacks aren't working. I mean, I guess it's the case. There's always going to be something that goes through. But we'll have another test of those later. Did any of you want to pull up some more and pull the other ones and test them in other situations, or enough? I think we've already gone through all the changes
basically
now.
everything, yes. And also crossplay, but yeah, we said that.
Yes. Well, yes. We now have crossplay matching with console players, so you can invite console players to your lobbies. Console players can invite PC players. We're all happy, fun family together. Which character has proper iframes now? In theory,
I don't believe Medjays do, honestly, but try
I
Shaolin or
thought they
Medjay.
did. I had a test of. I had Medjay's feeling like they had better iframes.
Which one are you playing?
They also, pardon?
Which one are you doing, Medjay or Shaolin?
I picked Medjay. I don't know if one of you want to go character with a Lego Warlord, for example.
No, that's good. Just testing those real quick.
I'm going to flex the skin. I don't give a shit.
That's a good skin.
The skin is very nice.
Nice.
Won't lie.
Nice bone arm, though.
Thank you. Nice tablecloth scarf.
Pardon?
It's a nice tablecloth scarf.
Thank you. We use it for picnics. They also did fix the Shinobi parry riposte bug. That's also
and they fixed Lawbringer's side lights.
Yeah, just
having no
bug fixes that
range.
are more game critical, which
you sidewalk. Yeah, we put patch notes in the chat again. Overall, I mean, a bunch of really nice changes. I'm pretty happy with pretty much all of them. All right, let's do the axe mode dodge attacks.
Corner.
Oh yeah.
I really do hope this works.
Oh, no, I need to change it to axe mode, which I can't do in the.
Earlier.
Oh, it's just not. There we go. I think it's not. It's the 300 ms input. I'm not able to put them in.
You're dodging too late, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does
if I hit
work.
the
You
ball-
can see. There you go. That's a perfect example. That does work
Yeah.
there. And Shaolins also do that, I think.
Yeah, or
Yeah, they do.
you could probably dodge against my.
Yeah. I'm trying to get back in the corner.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, these do work. Which
So-
is great because you can do this ad infinitum.
The input on
iframes now.
doing that is quite tricky. You have to like hold heavy, dodge, release, tap heavy. I tried to do it the other day and I couldn't do it well. But yeah, the dodge. So they have dodge attacks. They also now have the iframes as we also now have what's called dodge properties or tracking braking, which means that attacks should stop tracking them. It's especially obvious on top heavy attacks. If you dodge at the wrong time, like I guess if you dodge on, I'll light and then you dodge and then I'll do top heavy. So, all right. Well, apparently I'll.
I don't think Nudge is the character to point out good tracking.
All right. Well.
Just light side heavy and that probably will work, but
Yeah. So that. Well, actually, I think I did catch it. It's just the hitbox.
yeah.
But you know, sometimes you dodge sideways and then they hit you anyway because they've got tracking at that point, and dodge attacks can break tracking. Regular dodges break tracking as well. It's just, I guess, so that dodging wasn't a good example at all. So yeah, are there any other changes that we haven't missed?
Not really.
Just a nice little, yeah, more bug fixes and so on. So, I guess let's talk about the consequences of these. Are you here with us, Jonesy, in the chat still?
I am indeed.
Fab. Okay. So, yeah. What do you think about the is the HBGL tournament coming up? Which on the 29th? Am I right?
It is the 5th and 6th.
The 5th and 6th. Okay, it's a different lots on the 29th. That's the 2v2s. That's Walush's 2v2s.
Yeah.
Are you excited about? Let's talk about Shinobi first. Is Shinobi banned on those ones?
Yes. Regardless of, it's kind of like End of the Fray rules where we're not going to change the ban on a character this soon before a tournament where you don't want to mess with anything. So, yeah, he's staying banned for that one.
Do you think you will want to keep him banned in future? Or will you wait?
It is entirely up to what pro players want to do.
Yeah, so essentially it's up to me.
Yeah, you and your posse of people. But yeah, I don't see any reality where Shuriken is ever unbanned, honestly, unless Shinobi like falls into Centurion tier. But yeah, I mean, as he is right now, Shinobi's not allowed.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak from the perspective of somebody who helps organize official tournaments that we don't really want to have characters being banned. So if it's possible, like obviously there's no official tournaments that have been announced just yet, and it's possible that Shinobi will get more changes between then. But I think the consensus of the players that I've talked to is that the revenge nerf is enough, that he's not mandatory and not broken.
Are these players or Shinobi mains?
The thing is, the reason he was banned was not because he was super strong. We still have characters like JJ who are still S tier in Dom. It's the fact that you have a character that breaks the rules of the game and works like nothing else with, you know, infinite ganks. And there's been since Center Rework, I believe, or somewhere around there, where there's been a vendetta against all infinite ganks and all 100 zero ganks, and they still want to remove that. So, considering how the character works and how that's what the character is, that's the only reason the character is good. He got banned for his stun resets and 100 to 0 ganks, and
Still has those.
Still has those. So we'll see.
Yeah, but then to be fair, like Shaolin also has his stun resetting ganks, and so does Orochi. Shaolin currently has that. His sweep has been knocked out, so you can get like just demonstrate it now if you want to. You can do your after the key stance kick. You can just land 3 heavies.
I'll kick my bad. Do it again. Four heavies, in fact, but
yeah. So I mean,
that's technically a bug. So
yeah, I mean, like I guess you could. Well, they could probably argue that the Shinobi.
Yeah, but Shinobi's been in meta for
it's more
quite some
that it was
time,
infinite and it was
players.
crazy powerful, right? I think that's the two things. Like it breaks the rules and it's crazy good, whereas the other like Orochi infinite ganks, because Orochi and Kyoshin, for example, have an infinite 100 to 0 gank. You just storm rush into Fujin cuts and then do it again. Same with Orochi and Shaolin. Even has got triple lights, storm rush, triple lights, storm rush, but they're not so oppressive because they're a little bit harder to initiate compared to Shinobi's kick, which you can just do off anything. So I don't know. I personally think that the character is not so strong that it would have to be banned in quite the same way as it was beforehand. But we'll see. Like, there's no official tournaments announced just yet, and we'll see how these community tournaments, the feedback is, and we'll see if there's some scrims afterwards, people scrimming with the new character with the nerf, and see if it's unplayable still.
He's probably gonna be I don't know. From just changes, I'd say maybe like third comp material, second comp, hardly. If you're like a god, but
Yeah, so I mean that's enough to reason to unban a character, in my opinion, if the character's not that powerful, especially if shooting stars is still banned, because that feat is really egregious.
yeah, shooting star stays banned. I don't care. I'm gonna go on a fucking rampage to keep that thing banned.
I think that's fairly reasonable. Having an 80 damage tier 2 is not great. But we also have, of course, other than the Shinobi nerf affecting the future of the comp scene, we have crossplay. We can now do scrims with console teams, and we can have cross-platform tournaments. And this next one coming up, Jones's tournament HPGL on the 5th and 6th November?
Yes, that weekend.
Yeah, that is also going to be cross-play with all the consoles and all the PC players in one big happy family. What do you think if you can make any predictions, what the outcome of that is going to be, Jones?
I mean, I'd imagine that we're mainly going to see the same group of, top PC teams placing in the places they normally end up. I don't think that the PlayStation scene is as strong, and same can be said for the Xbox scene, aside from Smooth Brains. I think that over the years, a lot of their top teams have kind of eroded a little bit. So we'll see if I think there definitely are maybe a couple of contenders that can get up there, give a lot of pressure to the top teams, but I don't expect it's going to be, as if we have triple the top number of teams, compared to PC right now.
Do you think there's going to be a case of like strong console players joining in and being recruited to like new teams that form in the future?
I definitely think that's a possibility. There are a couple of players that are just kind of free agents, and if they want to, get involved, it definitely opens up a lot more free agents who are on PlayStation or on Xbox or on PC. There's a lot more people that they can pick up and make a team with. So I definitely think I know personally a couple on Xbox that could be picked up. So yeah, I definitely think there is the potential for, cross-platform teams even.
Yeah. Normie, have you done any scrims with console players yet?
Yeah, it's chill. I mean, it's not anything you wouldn't expect. It's just scrims, and you can build consoles.
Was it fun? People having fun, enjoying it?
Me, yes. I don't know about them. I had them this morning, and I was.
Around afterwards.
Well, it was me and one other person, but he sucks at the game, so it doesn't matter. But I was the only PC player in there, and it definitely stood out. But I guess it's also the skill gap because they weren't even around the top console players. So, but I mean, it's basically down to PC just plays and practices way more in way more efficient ways. The thing that I noticed is that console practice is just really inefficient. For example, they don't do scrims at all. They just snipe each other in MM, and when they do scrims, they're kind of all over the place. They're not even really focusing on the game. But PC sort of smooth those things out. So like John said, we're still gonna see PC teams on top. Contradicting what John said and what you said about seeing teams cross-platform, it's not gonna happen. Like I'm 95% sure, because there's still, for the majority of the players, the discrimination between PC and console. And second, the biggest problem is communication troubles, because console players and console teams are using MVC and stuff like that, and PC players all use other software like Discord and stuff to communicate, because it's much more convenient, as the in-game VC is well, I can't put it otherwise, fucking dog shit.
Yeah.
So
And nobody has it turned on anyway because
so then having 3 PC players and then 1 console, who the 3 PC players are in Discord, or and then they have to talk in game for the 1 person, which is an extra binding. Console players just keep it on open. PC players have it by default on push to talk, and or otherwise, it's just inconvenient. So
the
I don't think it's
consoles
gonna happen.
not have this. Can you not install Discord on consoles?
Recently,
can on an
Xbox has added support, but PlayStation does not have support, and Xbox support required you to have your phone on. Now it's swapped off. It's really weird.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's still super inconvenient, and most, like I said, the consoles just use that. And while console players do use Discord to VC sometimes as well, it's usually really stupid because it's like having your phone on your lap or something. It's just super stupid.
Yeah.
So until we have full support of Xbox and PlayStation with Discord or with other, I don't know, if people still use TeamSpeak. But yeah, it's just super inconvenient, and I don't see teams forming cross-platform.
Okay. I mean, it's certainly possible for teams like Smooth Brains have remained on of console, but like some of them have gone to PC, and it's certainly possible we'll see some teams that have like had 1 or 2 players go to PC and then but not all of them have made the transition. Will then pick up the console players back with them. Do you think that's? I mean, are there any examples other than Smooth Brains? Jarl went to PC.
Okay, well, the only one that sort of qualifies is Lemon or Immortalem,
Yeah.
which plays like obviously on both platforms, but it's
Has he
still
gone
like
both?
if he's gonna play for the console team, he's gonna play on console. He doesn't
Yeah.
like he's not gonna stay on PC. If he plays a PC team or subbing for Blitz team, he will get on PC because it's not even about the console versus PC or frames or something. It's just that it's more convenient and you can actually communicate properly.
Fair enough.
That will say if in-game VC quality was good, like Siege or like Overwatch or like any other whatever CS:GO, then there would be, less of this. It's awful. Let's not use it. And I guess if you have a 2 PC 2 console team, you could be convinced into, we'll just use the in-game one. It's just as good as anything else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least the option's there. So,
Yeah, it is.
are there anybody in the scene who's been talking about making cross-platform teams?
Mostly just consoleans who aren't even in console comp coping that they're gonna be able to join the PC team, but no.
Well, I'll be interested to see how things evolve with the scrims. Something to Bam. We are going to be sorting out the dojo to properly support the dojo server to properly support the cross-platform way of doing things. I'm going to change the permissions on channels to have like a single scrims channel, a single matchmaking pings channel, so you'll be able to just look. You get a larger player base to search for. I know that it's not very active the server at the moment, but it's something we're looking into improving. I just have had not much time to initiate projects on that front because of dealing with the Into the Fray stuff that I've been busy with. So we'll be making progress on that hopefully soon. I want to put out some like calls for people to get involved, and if anybody's keen to be like hosting regular scrims, hit us up. Yeah, that's certainly on the cards. I'm excited for it. I mean, I'm excited to see how Smooth Brains hold up against the top teams because they're pretty good.
There
I
has been
mean,
a scrim that was a bit tragic, but we choose to ignore it. It was a pickup team, like a PC pickup versus Smooth Brains, and Smooth Brains lost, not by a lot, but they lost. So, but it was a pickup team of average PC comp players, so not looking too bright. But
I want to hear this.
it was like nature and like random, I don't know, literally
Nature's.
whoever, like
I know
Vilgax.
everybody likes shitting on Nature, but he's good. And Vilgax's team is pretty amateurs, is doing pretty good as well. So I don't know. I'm excited to see how things move on from here. I've already done a few like cross-platform, just grouping up and playing with some cross-platform friends, which would be nice. Although we got eaten by the spider, as you know, there's the spider mode going on, and we only won like one time. So maybe I can't say it's entirely the console player's fault, because I didn't play very well either. But at least we have the ability to blame them now in person. And yeah, we also have VC that works well. We've already seen some pretty amusing cases of console to PC VCs. Not going to put any links in chat, but it's pretty funny. All right, have we got any questions in? I'll look through the voice text, see if there's any questions going around. We can answer. If Chrono crashes every 5 minutes, nothing we can do about that, to be honest. There's somebody complaining about Shinobi in the Twitch chat. Oh my god, they've been going on for ages. Wow. Well, yes, Depressor. What's the question? You have a question about the event? Yes. Do ask. Waiting for this question with on absolute tenterhooks. Playing Warden, you dodge Shinobi kick. I can't GB the back flip because I press X. I'll bash. Yeah, I mean that happens sometimes. Yes, if you the new event mode has some unique ornaments, and you get one for winning it and one for participating in it, and you will win the winning one. If you carry on winning with the same character, you get it on different characters. It's a random, but you will. I guess if you play 31 matches with Shaolin and you win all of them, you'll get the ornament on everybody.
Yeah, you do get the ornament. All right, so we should be wrapping up now.
Yeah. One more thing, talking about participation awards. For anybody who's watching and took part in the Into the Fray tournaments, we have the outfit codes going to be available to be given out to players and participants next week probably, but only if you've given in your information. If you are actually allowed to play, and the same for your teammates as well. So please check the announcement in the tournament chat, in the tournament server, and send in your info if you haven't already. And then you have the amazing fashion, which you can actually see in the game menu right now. If Nutella wants to show it off, you can show off the incredibly beautiful battle outfit and the best effect this game has ever seen.
All right, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's pretty nice. Oh, I think it's all right. It's all right. But
thank you all for coming around. We'll start wrapping that up.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. Thank you much, everybody, for joining us. Thanks, Normie, Jones for joining, and Taylor, of course. Come join us. We'll be doing another of these dojos soon. Probably one to talk about tournaments in general, and what he'll want for future tournaments and that kind of thing. And be on the lookout for changes for how we're doing scrims and stuff, and looking for group in the Trials and Dojo server as well. So that'll be nice. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming along. It's goodbye, I guess.